It's New Year's Eve, and in this video, I'm going to take a look at 5 of some of the hottest books that we saw in 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. It's New Year's Eve, so for this video, I thought it'd be kind of cool to take a look back at 2020 and analyze some of the hottest books that emerged this past year, and then look at them as far as 2021 is concerned and see what the prognosis might be for their, sort of speculative value and see if the trend is going to keep going up. But before I take a look at the books with you guys, if you guys could drop me a like or a comment or subscribe if you're enjoying my content, would be great to get one of those things from you guys. Love interacting with everybody in the comments and having this conversation. So let's keep it going. And yeah, if you could do one of those things, that'd be awesome. So with that being said, I picked out 5 books here that I thought were interesting, books that were, hot in 2020. Now, there were a lot of them, but these 5 books were, really interesting to me as far as, why they were popular in this past year. And also, as far as taking a look at them going into 2021 to see, what the, culture surrounding them might be, and are they going to continue to climb, or are they going to actually start to taper off a little bit? So I picked out 5 books. Let's take a look at them together, and I'll kind of, talk about, what I think might happen with them in 2021. So let us get into my first pick here, which is going to be Avengers number 8. First appearance of Kang the Conqueror. All right, so we all know that, a few months back in this year, the news was dropped that Jonathan Majors was going to be playing Kang the Conqueror, and instantaneously overnight, this book doubled in price. And I've done a couple of videos, and I've referenced this book a few times, and this one definitely got hot. I mean, we can see here 9.8. Granted, there's only one, setting a record sale of $44,000, but that's in 2015. So, overall, we look at the 9.4s, the 9.2s, the 9.0s, all here December, November, all in 2020. These have set new records, and this book has definitely gotten hot, and it's been confirmed that Jonathan Majors is in fact going to be playing Kang the Conqueror. So, as far as where I see this book going in 2021, I actually surprisingly think that this book is going to not necessarily cool off, but I think for the time being, we've kind of hit the apex of this book. I think that the next kicker for this thing, as far as it taking the next jump in terms of its value, is going to be eventually when we get the trailer for Quantumania. But with regards to 2021, Quantumania isn't currently speculated to be coming out until 2022, maybe 2023. So, if we're talking about when we're going to see a trailer, I don't actually think we're going to see one this year. And I very much doubt that we're going to get a Jonathan Majors Kang appearance in any sort of teaser or button given the current slate that's out there with the MCU. So I think that actually this book has sort of reached its peak in terms of, its speculative state at the moment. And, if you're someone out there that feels like they want to get their hands on this book before it takes the next jump, 2021 might be a good year for you to take a look at it, because I think the market has leveled off. And but we'll see. You never really know. I mean, again, if Jonathan Majors pops up in any of these other MCU films coming out in 2021, certainly it's going to get another uptick. But for right now, I think that this book is where it is. So, if you feel like this is a price that you're willing to pay, and you see this book out there, I think you can find, what is going to be fair market value at this time before it, has another jump. So, a pretty cool book, regardless. Blue chip, Silver Age book. Very, very cool that we're getting Kang. Awesome news within 2020. And yeah, we'll see what happens when this book gets hot again in 2022 once we start to see Quantumania trailers. All right, moving on to my 4th pick here, which is actually going to be a little bit of a twofer, and that's going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. This, of course, is the first appearance of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, first appearance of Splinter and his origin, first appearance of Shredder and the Foot Clan and the origin of the TMT. I mean, this is the, the grail book when it comes to owning Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And as my 1B equivalent here, this is going to be, Raphael, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. This is a kind of consolation prize that emerged, a one-shot that had the first appearance of Casey Jones, as you can see right there. And these Ninja Turtle books in 2020 got absolutely, were set on fire. This particular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, I mean, total records. I mean, you could take a look at like some of the numbers here. I mean, look at that 9.8, $92,000, 9.6, 31,000, 9.4, 20,000. So we're talking major, major numbers for this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book. And, the market totally went crazy. And it was really interesting because, for a long time, this thing hovered really, really high up. I mean, it was the top 10, in the top 10, on Key Collector and places like that, week after week after week. And it just kept going up and up and up. And, who knows really why the culture is still sort of gravitating to this book. Granted, we're in that sort of 90s, 80s nostalgia cycle where a lot of people who are young when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out are really interested or have money, in their pockets now. They're adults now, and they want to get their hands on this book. They want to recapture that nostalgia, and that's part of the reason why this book has gone up to the heights that it has. And on top of that, this book is really scarce. I mean, it was an indie comic book created by Eastman and Laird. So, there's not that many copies out there. Very, very hard to find, very, very hard to get. And that's one of the reasons why it popped off. Now, as far as 2021 is concerned, where this book is, going to land, again, I'm not a guru, but, looking at the landscape, I have to think that this book is going to cool off in 2021. I could be wrong, but as far as like where it pertains within pop culture, we don't really have anything coming up as far as like there's no new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that's going to be being released in 2021. We had, The Last Ronin and other books that, got hot in the market in 2020. And that could have been part of the reason why this book remained relevant within the culture. But as far as, movies and animations and stuff like that are going into 2021, there's not much out there. There's definitely stuff in development, but it's to be seen if it's going to be released then. So I have a feeling that this book, again, like the Avengers one, is actually going to, kind of plateau a little bit. I think it's going to take a year off from its explosion, as a sort of a bull stock, so to speak. And I think it's going to stay at its plateau for at least a little bit. But again, if in 2022 or some other year we get more Ninja Turtles properties, we're going to see that uptick again. But as far as 2021 is concerned, I think this book is where it is for the time being. All right, let's move on now to my third book that I thought was interesting in 2020, and that is going to be Amazing Spider-Man 300. First appearance of Venom, classic Todd McFarlane cover, great 80s copper Spider-Man. And I've said it in previous videos that I've done on this channel, but I think Amazing Spider-Man 300 is the Hulk 181 of the copper generation. I think that this book is here to stay. I think it's always going to, as far as comic collecting, where it takes its place within the collector market, I think that this book is a certified blue chip, at least in my opinion. And as far as it going into 2021, had a super hot year in 2020. Book set record highs at 9.8s. Everybody was clamoring for this book. And for 2021, I actually think that the streak is going to continue. I actually think this book is going to remain hot because we are going to have a Venom #2 being released in 2021. Tom Hardy's going to reprise his role. There's murmurs about that movie getting released sometime in the summer. And, because this is the first appearance of Venom, as soon as we have a Venom movie come out, this book is going to get hot again. I mean, I think right now it's sort of tapered off as far as it being in the sort of like top 10, the hot comic books. But, as soon as we get that first Venom 2 trailer, I think this book's going to jump right back into the top 10. I think you're going to have the likes of the Comic Toms and the Key Collectors and all that sort of thing. I mean, this book is going to resurface for sure. So I think 2021 is going to be another good year for ASM 300 owners, and for those who want to get their hands on this book, I think this might be the time to do it before that trailer drops. All right, moving on now to my #2 pick of 2020 that I thought had a huge year that was interesting. That's going to be Ultimate Fallout #4, first appearance of Miles Morales. Awesome character, awesome book. This one had a huge year. Miles Morales was a massive character coming off the heels of the Into the Spider-Verse, which in my opinion was one of the best superhero movies that we've ever seen. I mean, it was such an amazing animation movie. And what I think was interesting about this book is I think Miles stayed within minds of the culture, not only just from the movie, but in the current comic book space. You know, obviously he's got his titles that are going on, very, very popular. He's definitely involved in the stories. And additionally, there was the Spider-Man PlayStation game, if you guys were familiar with that. And Miles Morales had a big expansion where he was relevant to that. So as far as his place in the culture, he's had his footprint there. And that's one of the reasons why I think that this book had the legs that it had in 2020, coming off the heels of Into the Spider-Verse. Now, as far as 2021 is concerned, I don't know if this book is going to take the next jump yet. I think that this book has, definitely a ceiling eventually that will reach. I do think that this book will continue to go up, especially when we get into the Spider-Verse 2. And similarly, if we ever get, a Miles Morales in any sort of way in the Sonyverse or MCU. I mean, who knows what the potential of this book is going to be. But as far as 2021 is concerned, there's no necessarily Miles on the slate, so to speak. Into the Spider-Verse #2 isn't going to come out until 2022. So this book might sort of hover around where it is for the time being. But because we have Spider-Man #3 coming out, there might still be that SPEC market that thinks that we might see a Miles Morales in Spider-Man 3, especially, or we might see a Miles Morales in Doctor Strange multiverse, if we get some sort of cross craziness going on. So this one is still a mystery to me. I do think that as far as 2021 is concerned, I think it's going to stay where it is. I think it's reached that sort of plateau for now. And then, we'll continue to spike up once we get into 2022. All right, moving on to my last book that I wanted to analyze as a look back of some of the hottest books of 2020. That is going to be right here, Star Wars #42. First appearance of Boba Fett in comic books. And what a year for Star Wars books it was. I mean, we had some of the best Star Wars entertainment that we've had in a long time, coming off the heels of The Mandalorian, which of course, as you guys know, was on Disney Plus. And in season 2, we saw the reappearance of Boba Fett back into the Star Wars universe. Super, super exciting. Obviously, this book hit new record highs. Everybody's been flocking to the Star Wars stuff. And with Disney Investor Day announcing all of the Star Wars properties coming out, this, it's never been a better time to be a Star Wars comic book owner. I mean, it's really great what's going on with the market, and this Boba Fett book is definitely a hot one. And as far as the forecast into 2021, I think that this book is going to continue to climb. I mean, I don't see this train stopping anytime soon. It is speculated right now. It's listed on IMDb that Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett, which is going to be Boba Fett's Disney Plus series, is scheduled to release in 2021. So I think the speculators and the market is going to continue to chase this book, going to continue to drive those prices up. And as soon as we start to see trailers for Book of Boba Fett, as soon as we get into the swing with the Book of Boba Fett, as far as the show is concerned, this book is going to continue to climb because Boba Fett is going to be cemented in pop culture and everyone's going to be wanting to get their hands on it. So anyways, those are the 5 hot books of 2020 that I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about and sort of, see what the prognosis would be for 2021. Anyways, that is all I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please drop me a like or a comment or subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Let me know, do you guys have any books that you saw in 2020 that you thought were hot and you think are going to get hotter in 2021? Let me know in those comments. I hope you guys have a great New Year's, and I will see you in the next video.